Welcome back, students, to Detention. This is Blue Aura Master. In our last session, we were wandering different parts of the school, being the basement and the Red House. We encountered a new enemy known as the Lantern Spectre. We saw that image of Ray jumping off the roof of the school. We encountered a flashback with Ray and Wei talking about a certain book list, and a very heavy scene involving Ray and her teacher, Miss Yin. Here, we're going to continue from there. All we have left is chapter 3 and 4. With these two last chapters, there are no new enemies to face, no new spirits or monsters, just mainly puzzles and note collecting. Yeah, these two last chapters is where the story really starts to unfold. We get a lot of questions answered here and figure out what exactly is going on. So without further delay, let's go ahead and get started. We have here a radio in the middle of the room. A radio? Seems like the static in the room is coming from this. Maybe I can get something if I tune it a bit. Before we do that, an old door. The door is locked. Nope, so we have to turn the radio dial until we can get a signal. The atmosphere in the room's changed. We're back in Ray's room. Let's check this piggy bank over here. A ceramic piggy bank. Big round eyes waiting to be fed. Someone's home. I feel like Mom's always been a traditional housewife. She doesn't complain even when wronged. I really don't like that. There's no way to go into the past anymore. Back then, besides the New Year's, Dad never drank at home. I miss the days when he had jokes and stories to tell. So these are Ray's parents. Her mom is sitting there crying with her face in her hands. And her dad just looks angry with what looks like a bottle of wine or champagne on the side here. At the end of chapter 1, we did hear them fighting. This image alone is just... it's very sad. It's really sad. What's this? You all saw that, right? Pictures of Mom, Dad, and I. The eyes have been rubbed off. A glass juice cup. Take a note of this. What's this supposed to mean? Take a note of this. So there are these markers, these symbols on her parents' portraits, well, pictures. They kind of look like clock hands. For now, let's just back out. And look at the juice cup. A glass juice cup. It glows with a dull melancholy. Goodness. Filled glass cup. Filled with sadness, has a dim glow. Imagine that. Filled with sadness and has a dim glow. Tears coming out of Ray's picture. Jeez. The door's locked. A strange quote on the door. Meet the right person at the right time. Alrighty, let's just get out of here. Alrighty. There's nothing else we can do here for now, so let's go back to the radio. What I want to do is find another tune. As soon as you see that red light on its corner, the atmosphere in the room changed again. And the piggy bank is broken. A ceramic piggy bank, broken up for one's desires. There's a puddle of clear water on the ground. Okay, so on the bottom here, you can see like footprints coming from the puddle. Basically, this puzzle here is you have these 5 doors and you have to go through them a certain pattern. If you just go inside a door just at random, you're just gonna end up back here. So what you want to do, if we turn off the lights, it won't do us any good. But if maybe something with a dim glow could help us out. We take the glass of melancholy, pour it in the puddle. Now if we go turn off the lights, just like in the same room where we got that glass, we can see the footprints visible now. So we can go ahead and follow them through this door, then this door, go through here, one more time over here, way over here, and here. Even has a dull glow on the bottom. Now we reach this room. A bunch of syringes dangling from the ceiling. That's not concerning at all. We find our first notes. A note on the floor. Ad for private investigator. Ad for private investigator. Husband cheating, comes home late. We specialize in tracking people. This looks like an ad for a PI firm. Husband cheating, comes home late. There are just like 3 or 4 notes in this chapter. Definitely not as much as compared as chapter 1. Chapter 1 was definitely the longest for sure in that regard. Well, it had the most collectibles. So now we're here in Ray's parents' bedroom. Let's take a look at them. See what she has to say. Back then, laying in bed, I could hear Mom and Dad chatting through the walls. They had such a bond back then. I don't know when their idle chatter turned into deafening silence. Later, Dad only came home when he got roaring drunk. Mom always huddled in a corner, trying to hide her tears. Sounds like they were going through a really, really rough time in their marriage. Even Ray couldn't escape that, hearing their arguments in her room even. Man. Alrighty, so we have clocks here. The one in the middle doesn't have any hands, but we have this clock and this clock. So these are supposed to represent Ray, her dad, and her mom. So with her father's picture, it said 3:30. And with her mom's picture, it said 7:30. But nothing happened. 3 clocks. None of them are running, but it looks like I can turn the hands. So nothing happened. Remember, their pictures weren't right side up. Her dad's picture was tilted to the left, and her mom's picture was upside down. What you want to do is you want to use your imagination and basically what the hands would look like if they were right side up. So, I'm going to go ahead and change her dad's clock to 5:45 and her mom's clock to 1 p.m. The clock in the middle filled up with more melancholy. Let's get out of here. And what do we have here now? It looks like her dad. And the room is scattered with female undergarments. One day, Dad came home inebriated and tripped at the front door. I couldn't stand seeing him on the ground all the time, so I went over to give him a hand. Besides the stench of smoke, there was another smell. A faint smell of powdered makeup. Besides the sound of that giggling, our first note said, "Ad for private investigator. Husband cheating, comes home late." In the midst of all their bickering, Ray's father cheated on his wife. That's just awful. The fact that Ray knew that. She suspected that. The smell of powdered makeup coming from him. Must have been really tough on her. Let's keep moving. Let's see here. Can we go in here already or not yet? Well, it looks like we can. Let's go ahead and take a look. The teacher's desk. On it are plenty of assignment papers. So we can go in here, but nothing to do just yet. Let's go back. So where we want to go is we want to go back into that room where There were pictures of Ray's family. Let's go ahead and go back to that room. That church bell in the background is also pretty ominous. It's very fitting with the ambiance. And there we have it. Their pictures are right side up now. Meet the right person at the right time. Let's move on. Now, this is one of my favorite parts of this game. Everything has been very dull and bleak in terms of coloring. Still just fantastic artwork, but here, everything is now a lot more bright, lively, and colorful. You could say this is one of Ray's happy places, so to say. And who do we have here? I've received your paper plane. I was truly worried you were still having trouble at home. But it looks like my concern was slightly unfounded. Like the white daffodil, you are innocent, vain, and candid in nature. Perched aside a pond in snow white, admiring your reflection. Being different from others can be a tough way to live. But I think I can understand that feeling. You said you want to learn more about my time abroad. All I can say right now is that my past is rather complicated. Unfortunately, many horrible things have happened on this land in the last decade. Believe it or not, our society wasn't always like this, oppressive and cold. Perhaps we should take a stroll down the boulevard on the weekend. There are things our censored textbooks don't mention, but are definitely worth knowing. So to clarify, with a pen and a notebook in hand and the way he was sitting, that was the school counselor, Mr. Chang. He was referenced in Chapter 1 on the counseling record that Ray picked up. Just keep note of him for now. Paper plane. Toss my worries out and receive your guidance. Radio station. Radio station, new radio station's channel launched 103.0. Alrighty, let's go ahead and go back to the radio then. Has a nice tune to it. And now we're in this room with a bunch of shattered mirrors. This is another cool puzzle of the game, but first I just want to go ahead and show you something on how are we supposed to figure out this puzzle. Just go ahead and keep going until we find this door. The knob turns, but the door won't budge. A strange quote on the door. Follow that shadow in the dark, then you will be closer to the truth. Follow that shadow in the dark. Well, there's a light switch next to each one of these mirrors. So we need to turn off each of these lights. And we're going to see a shadowy figure in the reflection. If we go here, we can see a man wearing a fedora. So we want to make sure that this figure is walking towards the door. We want to make sure that he's following us. So we're going to leave this one off. He is following this direction. Let's go ahead and turn this one off. Okay, so he's walking the opposite direction. Want to leave this on so that Ray's reflection is walking towards the door. Let's go ahead and turn this one off. Okay, so the right direction. Still the right direction. Okay. Okay, not that one. Let's turn it back on. Alrighty. And there we go. So the door lit up. We can go in it. Looks like a drawing of Ray's family. Can't really see it all that clear, but yep, let's take a look. I drew this when I was little. It was always kept, even when we moved the furniture around. Father's study is always neat and tidy. He always gave off an air of seriousness with a little bit of his own humor. And looks like we're in the kitchen. Let's go ahead and take a look at these coats over here. A coin. Save up for my dream, little by little. Little by little. Let's go this way. The theater's ticket counter. The door's shut tight. So this is the entrance to a theater. We got a coin. If we remember, there's a piggy bank in Ray's room. We need to go back to her room. Set up the correct radio frequencies to go back to where the piggy bank is. Basically like going back in time, you could say. Let's go back to the piggy bank. Deposit the coin. Put coin in piggy bank. And now, if you go to the second frequency, where the piggy bank was broken, what do we have here? Movie ticket. A saying goes, actors are lunatics and the audience are fools. Funny to think about. But now we have a movie ticket. Let's go back to the movie theater counter. So let's just go back there, no problem. This chapter is pretty short. I mean, I do like that we're getting a lot more to say of what was happening in Ray's life, but here we go. Another one of my favorite scenes. Just the colors and the artwork of this game is so nice. And this time everything is just so vibrant and astral, so to say. Abstract is the better word. So, as mentioned, you could say this is one of Ray's happy places. Let's move on. Goldfish floating around, all of these different portraits. This one over here is pretty scary. And looks like dango, I want to say, but they look like eyeballs. Isn't that nice? But just keep in mind with what's going to happen now. The theater's ticket counter. We have a ticket. Good day and welcome. We hope you enjoy your movie. Item received, white jade deer pendant. Around my neck, I am sentimentally attached and dependent on it. What we saw there was Ray and Mr. Chang, and they leaned on each other, holding hands. It looks like Ray and Mr. Chang were starting to have a relationship with each other. And now we know also where this necklace came from. Mr. Chang gave this to Ray. It should be clear now that who she refers to as the white deer is Mr. Chang, and the reason why it's so important to her, because he gave her this pendant. This is what she meant when she was talking to herself in the mirror at the end of chapter 1. Going out to see a movie with the school counselor, who she has developed romantic feelings for. Let's move forward. There's gonna be a lot more to cover then, but for now, that's what it looks like. So let's get out of here. And we have to go back to the very beginning. Have to go back to our room where the radio is. Whew. Our final notes for this chapter. A note on the floor. Search warrant. Search warrant. A search warrant issued by the district court with a list of public officials involved in a bribery scheme. When I went home that day, Father had already been taken away. I asked Mom what had happened. She quietly replied, "Dad got his hands dirty, but he'll live." Hearing this, I felt as if she was smiling underneath. So not only being an unfaithful husband, looks like he was involved in something much, much more severe. That figure of the private investigator Yeah, pretty much. Not only being unfaithful, he found out Ray's dad got his hands dirty. Now we have this last item. Assignment book. A reasonable excuse to enter the counseling office. So she could meet up with Counselor Chang. Convenient. Let's go ahead and pray at the altar. Okay, the door is locked. I think, am I missing something? Okay, the door is still locked. I think I am missing something. I don't remember exactly what. It should be open by now. Let's see here. Already met the person at the right time. Oh no, wait. Oh, wait, hang on. Yeah, we already met Counselor Chang here. Oh, I think I remember where we need to go. Let's just go back here. Gotta change it to the second frequency, if I'm not mistaken. We already did everything on the 103 frequency. Let's go in here. Go back to the room with all of the syringes. Let's head here. Yep, this is where we need to go. So like red lightning or slashes of blood in the sky, who knows? Let's keep moving forward. Got these fish in the background with the skeleton of one of them. Let's keep moving forward, and here is the shadow of someone. The teacher's desk. On it are plenty of assignment papers. Assignment book. Miss Fang. The counseling process is near its end. I'm glad you're back on track. And hopefully won't be needing me anytime soon. If there isn't anything else, you should return to class now. I still have plenty of assignments to look at. Counseling records. It's over. No matter what's been written on here, there is only farewell. So even after we saw them basically develop a relationship, he pretty much just said farewell. Something's not right there, is there? Let's go back to our room. This time that room should be, that door should be open now with the altar. So let's just head back there. And yep, here we are. Let's just head in. So here we have a vision of Ray's past. With the items that we've collected, we need to see what each of these items represents in the order that we collected them. And this illusion of us will tell us the story behind each of these items. Let's start with the paper plane. A glass cup of nauseating color, overflowing with the stench of human corruption. Plates and cups clash against the walls as Father's voice roared through the halls. After a series of curses seething, all that's left is Mother's weeping. Our family was once sweet together, healthy and caring when we gathered. And now, every night a restless sleep, every morning hard to wake. So it goes on day by day, the anguish digs ever deep. I was shattered into countless pieces, mirroring the crumbling of a familiar world. In a state of ceaseless decay, plunging into a river of despair, floating in limbo for the rest of our days. Now the pendant. Anticipating when we meet, footsteps ever quick and slight, roaming through a neon forest, strolling past the dazzling lights. I've become a little lark, brushing past the pretty flowers, chasing all the playful butterflies. I glide merrily by your side. I've been an actor in our play, long before the curtain's risen. Being held is ever comforting, longing for your love embracing, listening to your many whispers, feeling each other's tranquil breathing. The white deer walked into my grasp. What a pleasant surprise, what a turn of fate, I want to keep this moment in my palms for eternity. And now the council record. All of a sudden, we stopped meeting. You became distant bitterly, colder than the sun could melt, air around you freezing instantly, and my frozen body's beating heart, with each pulse tearing itself apart. Again, I'm left in abject solitude, in a house that I call home, in a space that I call school, a walking corpse whose mind's without, a sense of loss that's drowned with doubt. Chang-Ming Hui, we need to talk about this. Miss Yin, it's not necessary to raise your voice like that. Why can't I? What were you thinking going after a child like that? Child? I was already studying abroad at her age. She's old enough to know what she wants. So what now? Will you lead her down this forbidden path? She only needs a push in the right direction, not for you to wrap your arms around her. This is our private matter. It's none of your business. How is it not? You're stuck in your little romance. Did you forget about us? We were already in the same boat, don't you forget. painful recollection. My soul is shattered into pieces. When I cannot put myself back together and forget everything, I open my eyes and welcome a barren world. So we are back at the auditorium. Who was that man just now? We'll find out in the fourth and final chapter of Detention. Everything is starting to unfold. And in the very last chapter, we will know everything. Until next time, sweet dreams.